Hi, everyone.
Hi, everyone. I'm
Welcome
welcome
Rajeev
Rajeev
Kapur.
Kapur.
He is the
He is
president
the
and
president and
of 1105 Media,
105 Media,
currently at the
the
forefront of
forefront
B2B
of
and
the
B2C
B2B
engagement.
engagement,
He's an
an
advisor, a
advisor,
whiteboard
a
mentor,
whiteboard,
and he's a
a
two-time
two-time
best-selling
best-selling
author.
author,
And I'm so
and I'm
excited to have this
excited to have
conversation
this conversation
because not
because
only
not
is
only is
AI made
AI
simple,
made simple,
integrated,
great,
but
but
also his is
also
about
it's
conscious
about
leadership,
conscious
which
leadership,
if you
which
know me,
you
you
know
know I'm
me,
into
you know
all
I'm
of this.
into all of this.
So thank
So
you so
thank
much
you
for
so
being
much for
here. Do you
being here.
mind
Do you
walking
mind
us
walking
through a
us
little bit
through
of
a
your
little bit of your
background?
background?
Yeah, no, I'd love to, Candace, but your connection's still pretty bad.
Oh no,
Oh
okay.
no, okay.
Well, go ahead
So,
and do
Go ahead
that,
and
and
do
I'll
that, and
see what I
I'll
can do
see what
on my
I
end. Okay.
can. Okay.
all right. So you want me? So again, Candace, thanks for having me. I really appreciate it. I apologize, for all these little technical issues you're having. But look, my background is, I've been a technology executive my whole career. I kind of started in the '90s in the PC industry. I worked at Dell for a long time. I worked for Michael Dell, and to make a long story short, to just jump ahead a little bit, after my Dell stint, I was recruited to be the president of an e-commerce company here in Southern California. Did that for a while. And then I kind of was recruited to be the CEO of this audio technology company. It's interesting thing about that audio technology company is that they were actually building AI algorithms using sound, like measuring sound and how to improve sound. And that was my first real experience with AI. And a lot of people don't realize we've been surrounded by AI for a long time. So if you have a Netflix account, that they use AI, Instagram uses AI, Google Maps uses AI, Amazon. Hey, you bought this product, people bought this product. That's all AI stuff. So we've been surrounded by AI for a long time, but now that you have ChatGPT and all these other things out there, it's a little bit more personal. And so, after that company exited, I went to MIT and I got my dual certification in AI from MIT. And then my day job now is I'm CEO of a great B2B marketing company called 1105 Media. It's awesome and got an amazing team. And we do a lot of technology covering of brands and solutions and opportunities from a B2B perspective. And we do events and we do trainings and we do digital marketing and all those things. And we cover AI, we cover big data, we cover analytics, we cover cloud infrastructure and cybersecurity and all those things. And so all the things ancillary and important to AI. And so when ChatGPT came out, I was really excited, and I, decided to write the books. And you put up AI Made Simple, and the good news is that the third edition of the book literally just went live today. So that's the second edition, and the third edition literally just went live today. So I
Well,
know,
that's
and so that's exciting. And then the new book, Prompting Made Simple, just came out also, and I got it right here. And this book just came out right there. Prompting Made Simple just came out about 2 weeks ago, and that's doing really well. And so I'm just excited to be here and support you and support your community.
yeah, and I have so
Yeah, and
many
I have so many
viewers in my
viewers in
community,
my
so that was
community.
one of
So
the
it's
biggest
one of the
reasons
big
I
reasons
reached out
I
to you and was
reached
like,
out
I
to you
need
and
to have
I
him on.
need to have him on.
So one
So
thing,
one thing,
I assume this is
I
having,
assume this is having to,
of course.
of course.
Well,
Well,
Oh no, now you're frozen.
let's see if that helps anything.
if that
Did
helps
that help that a
anything.
little bit
Did
better?
that help anything?
And now you're completely frozen. You were frozen for a moment, but
Okay, let's
Okay,
get into
let's get into
how leaders
how
going
leaders
to really
need to
support
really support
organizations going forward
going
with
forward
the
with
vision of
the
AI.
vision of AI.
Because there's a
Because
lot of
there's a
people
lot of
who
people
are creative,
create
and sometimes
sometimes
they're
they're
man. You see if I can do it
see
this
if I
way.
can do it this way.
Oh man,
Oh man,
this is one of my
this is
favorite.
one of my favorite.
Looking forward to this one
To
so
this
much,
one, so
and I don't know why
I
it's
don't
not.
know why it's not.
If you want
If
to
you want to
talk about your book,
talk
I'm
about
going to
your book, I'm going to
start my side.
my side.
well, all right, hey folks. Well, thanks for joining, and I apologize for all the technical difficulties Candace is having on our end. But look, the books are amazing. I mean, my goal is to bring AI to the masses, and so I'm really I'm just really excited. And Candace, I appreciate all the work you're doing in the space to bring AI to your community, and especially from a healing side and from a mental aspect side. I think it's huge. And I've got an amazing story I can share about how I help somebody with AI and mental health. And it's interesting. I actually, back in November, almost a year ago, and gee, time flies, I got a call from this guy. Well, I don't really know him all that well. I mean, he's a kind of an acquaintance. He reached out to me and said, "Hey, Rajeev, I have a question for you. Can AI help me with my mental health?" And I said, "Oh, sure." It's like the first time I had really gotten that question, and I never really thought about it. And so I said, "Yeah, sure." And so we started talking, and I said, "What's going on? What's the issue? What's the challenge? What are you facing?" And he goes, "Well, I'm having really severe mental health challenges." And I asked him, on a scale of 1 to 10, what is it? And he goes, "Some days it's a 15. So, that can't be good." And so we just started chatting, and I'm like, "Well, why are you talking to me when you're talking to a therapist?" He goes, "I do talk to therapists. The problem is that therapist isn't necessarily available to me all the time."
Mm-hmm.
Right? So what do I do at 3 o'clock in the morning? I have an episode. What do I do, before I walk into a meeting and have an anxiety attack? Like, I can't just call my therapist, and so might not be, she might not be available, whatever. She does what she can. And I said, "Well, let's use this. We can try to use ChatGPT." I encouraged him to make sure that he told his therapist about it. And I'm not a therapist, I'm not a doctor, so anybody's listening, I would tell you, make sure what I'm about to say, you kind of do this under the guise of a therapist and some sort of support from a professional, because I'm not a professional and ChatGPT is not really professional. But essentially what we did was I made him download ChatGPT, the mobile app of ChatGPT, on his iPhone. He did that. I made him pay the $20 a month. He did that. And then I told him, "Hey, listen, I want you to give ChatGPT a persona. And the persona is, I want you to become a world-class therapist who helps executives who are dealing with these issues, these mental health crises, and on a scale of 1 to 10, I'm a 15, and why, and all that stuff, and ask me questions." And so I walked him through how to do it. And then the ChatGPT started asking him questions and what's going on, what are the issues, what are you facing? He started talking about challenges with his spouse, with his daughter, with work, with just everything was just kind of piling up on him. And it was just a lot of challenges and just issues he was dealing with. And so, I didn't really want to hear the whole thing. And so I said, "Tell you what, to make a long story short, I just said, listen, I want you to have a conversation with ChatGPT and pretend it's your therapist. And just pretend your therapist is on vacation in France, right? And just pretend it's your therapist and just have this conversation and just be open-minded about it." So I said, "Okay." So he did a couple of test questions and see how it worked. And so he got the hang of it. So then I hung up and I said, but before I hung up, I said, "Listen, give me a call in a few days. Let me know how it's going. And I'm happy to help." So a couple of days go by and he gives me a buzz and we started chatting. I go, "How's it going?" He goes, "Well, it's going great." He goes, "Real quick question. Can ChatGPT also become like my business coach, my life coach?" And I said, "Yeah, sure. Just give it, like you gave it a persona of a therapist, give it a persona of a business coach, a life coach, whoever you want to have. Like, pick somebody you admire, whoever it might be." And so, so what is what are some of the things that you admire in a leader? He goes, "Well, I really like Mark Cuban." I said, "Okay, well, just tell ChatGPT to act like Mark Cuban and be like, your business coach to help you think through growth and ideas and issues and challenges you might be having in your business." Same way, and just have that conversation. So a couple of weeks go by, I didn't hear from him, and he calls me up, and I said, "Hey, how's it going?" He goes, "Rajeev, it's been amazing." I go, "Oh, tell me what's going on." He goes, "Well, on the way to work, I no longer take phone calls. I no longer listen to the radio. I just talk to ChatGPT as if it's my business coach, my Mark Cuban, and we go over what's happening in my business. We go over the issues, the challenges, the opportunities, growth ideas, business ideas. We brainstorm things together. It's been awesome. It took me a while to kind of get a cadence going with it, but I got it figured out. And then on the way home, I just focused on my family. I have ChatGPT by my therapist. And so it helps me focus, and it gave me ideas how I can better connect with my daughter, how to be more present with my wife, how to deal with issues with my elderly parents, and just in general, right? So just this full conversation. And so I go, "How do you feel now?" And it's going, "What's it?" And he goes, "Today I feel pretty good. I'm probably a 3. I've been 4s and 5s, but I haven't had these manic issues." And like he goes, "I had a small little anxiety thing the other day, and I went to ChatGPT and said, hey, give me a breathing exercise." They gave him a breathing exercise, like a mental grounding exercise, and those kinds of things, right? So those are some of the things, like, right, where I think there's this opportunity, and you're the warrior within on this healing aspect. I think there's some opportunities there to really do it. And again, it's not there to replace your therapist. It's there to augment and amplify what they can do, because therapist is not available 24/7, right? So that's where it is. And in terms of answering your question, Nicole, no, it's not. It's going to help enhance, because you're not available 24/7. Right. So really the best solution is going to be, how do you take your experiences along with what the experiences are there with ChatGPT, and the winners are going to be the folks who can put those two things together and really provide solutions and opportunities.
Oh my gosh, I
Oh my
agree.
gosh, I agree.
so much. And I think that AI has the potential to give us back the very thing that we've been our time, right?
Yeah. So look, I talk about the 6 key takeaways for AI success, right? The number one is I always, tell people it has to start up here. You have to believe in it. It's kind of like, think of it this way, right? To me, AI is the greatest development for humanity since electricity. And it's like, do you want to use electricity or do you want to keep using candles? And that's kind of, there are people that still use candles for quite some time. And that's fine because it took, that's fine. Candles still worked, but there became a time when eventually candles just didn't work anymore and they're only good for birthday cakes, right? Or romantic dinners, right? And so, or romantic, whatever it might be. And so, but that's, you have to be convinced up here to do it, number one. Number two is you have to be curious, not judgmental, right? It's like, think of the internet. Like I remember when the internet first came out, how many people would say, no one's ever going to buy anything online. What is the internet? This is stupid. People will not buy books online. They want instant gratification. It's not going to work. Who's going to pay $10 shipping for a $10, whatever, or for $10? This is dumb. So much negativity. Now look at it, right? And so it's transformed retail, it's transformed e-commerce, it's transformed whole new industries, whole new companies, whole new opportunities, right? So you got to be curious. Don't be judgmental. Number three, it's all about your data. You got to have amazing data. Garbage in, garbage out. So just make sure you spend time, effort, energy, and make sure you have really good data. And then number four, we get into that whole idea of amplification and augmentation. It's not about artificial intelligence. It's about augmenting what you do. It's about amplifying what you do. It's how you become a force multiplier, right? It's helping you maybe be in 2, 3, 4, 5 places at once. And if you do those things, you can do the one thing money can't do, is what you just said, which is buy time. So think of it this way. Like I know, for example, like I literally had this conversation last week. There are teachers, and people can Google this. Like I had this conversation with a school superintendent last week in Arizona, and we were going over some things, and they're finding research now where teachers who are using ChatGPT and a tool called Khanmigo by Sal Khan, the founder of Khan Academy, is called KHANMIGO. What they're finding is that teachers can offload their administration work to the AI.
Yeah.
And that could give them, and it can help them figure out their syllabus, can help them new ways to figure out, the classroom learning materials, whatever the case might be. It's giving them back 6 to 10 hours a week of their time that they can now go spend more time with the kids. And that's essentially, what we want. So that's kind of where we are, where we're going. And, so I think that's an opportunity, right? And then finally, the winners in this space, and I don't mean like there's going to be losers per se, but I mean the people who are going to really, there's definitely going to be opportunity for the folks who are going to really lead in the space, are the folks who are storytellers, because folks that use their imagination. Because how you speak to ChatGPT, how you communicate with ChatGPT, or Gemini or Grok, or pick whichever one you want to use, it's all about the prompting, right? It's all about what you put in that box. That's what it's all about. So that's really the 6 key takeaways for success using AI.
Oh, I love that. Well, and leaders, you can help support your teams through this transition and process. Because I think that what I had was, how do you help the creative on your team who might feel challenged by AI? Like, since you do a lot of, I'd love to hear your input.
Yeah, look, I mean, at the end of the day, I mean, look, people, I think that's kind of a non-argument, right? Creative people have been using Photoshop for years, for decades.
Right.
So anybody says creatively, what can I do? Well, you don't draw. You've been using Photoshop. You've been using PowerPoint. You've been using, you probably used, if you're old like me, you probably started with Microsoft Paint. You know what I mean? So so this idea that, oh, well, creative. No, I mean, come on. It's like, what are you talking about? So, you just gotta be open-minded, right? This whole idea about being curious, not judgmental. And look, if it's not designed to, it's designed to help make you more efficient. So it's all, the more you know how to prompt the creativity, the creative output you want, the better your results are going to be, right? So it's just designed to save you time. Photoshop was designed to save you time. This is just the next evolution of saying it's just designed to save you time. I mean, if you wanted to create a marketing flyer, how long is that going to take? Well, if you type into ChatGPT what you're looking for in your marketing flyer, and the colors and the fonts and this and that, and whatever, and you upload your logo, blah 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 blah, whatever the case might be, then that's going to work. Now, in terms of marketing, I would tell you that if there's anybody listening, if you really want to do marketing with AI, you really want to look at a product from a company called Canva, Canva. That's really the best.
Yeah, I love Canva.
I think
most people I know
most
use it.
people I know use it.
So what are a
What
couple
are
of
a couple of
favorite prompts to
prompts
use, like in your day to day?
in your
I
day-to-day?
was listening to another
Listening to
on you, and you were talking about having a gloves in your pocket,
in your pocket.
and I love that
I
idea.
love that idea.
Never even thought of that.
Yeah, so that's persona-based prompting,
Mhm.
right? So that's probably, so if you think about persona-based prompting, it's fun, it's unique, it's a little bit different, it's nice, right? So it goes back to my example I gave of that guy who using a therapist. He gave ChatGPT the persona of being a therapist. So same thing here, right? You can give ChatGPT saying, hey, to ChatGPT, I'm thinking about a new business idea. I need you to be my business coach. Please act like Steve Jobs, right? That's kind of giving it a persona per se, right? Another example might be, hey, maybe you want to learn how to bake. Well, maybe you want, hey, ChatGPT, take on the persona of Duff from Food Network and become my my baking coach. Whatever you want to do, right? Maybe you want to learn how to run a marathon. Hey, ChatGPT, take on the role of Roger Bannister, who ran the 4-minute mile or whatever. I'm just making things up, whatever it might be, right? So essentially, so that's really persona. If like, I have to go to a wedding this weekend, and I'm not giving a toast, but I have to go to a wedding this weekend. But if somebody wanted to have some fun, they can go to HSPD. I want you to take on the persona of Snoop Dogg or Barack Obama or Donald Trump or whomever you want it to be. I don't care. And say, hey, help me create a toast, and they'll create that toast in their voice. And then you just, you can talk it through, right? It could be anybody. Like maybe, hey, you want to do take on the voice of The Rock, or you take on the voice of Ryan Reynolds, or you know what I mean, or your favorite SNL character, whatever it might be, right? So, but in ChatGPT knows these things, and it does that, and it gives you outputs, and then you can then say it in their voice. Maybe you want to learn how to become, maybe you want to become a comedian, and you want to go to open mic night, and you want ChatGPT's help to help you walk through a set. It can help you walk through a set, what to create. So you're only limited by your imagination. So that's why I said you really want to make sure you're a good storyteller and you have your good imagination, and just be open-minded about everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Well,
if we were to have this conversation years from now, what do you see happening in this space, or what hope in this space to make our lives easier?
Boy, if I knew that, I don't know if I'd be standing here right now. I think I'd be off on an island somewhere. But I look, the one thing I know for sure is that AI is going to be everywhere. It's we are the last generation that's going to be managing humans alone. We are going to be managing, as leaders, we're going to be managing humans, agents, and robots. I think in the next 5 years, you're going to see a plethora of robotic technology coming out, more and more advanced agent technology coming out. If you saw any of those Iron Man movies or those Avengers movies, Tony Stark, the Robert Downey Jr. character, he had an AI partner, Jarvis, and Friday, and all these things. And so you will all have our own little AI partner, for example, that can do things. An example of that would be like, we had this call scheduled for 9 a.m. Pacific time. If I'm running late, I could have, if I'm stuck on a call, if I'm stuck in another meeting, I could just tell my AI agent to call you and say, hey, Rajeev is stuck. Just be aware, right? So it's kind of like helping you be in two places at once. So I think it's a small, crude example, but this idea, it's there, and it's just coming, and it just needs more compute. And it's just a matter of time, and whatever. Like I used to tell people that we're gonna have real-time translation in the future, and guess what? We have it now. You can do real-time translation. So that's kind of where we are. So it's gonna be interesting to see, and I'm excited for the future. And I think there's gonna be a lot of things happening, and my brother is an expert in kind of meditation and those kinds of things, and bringing meditation to the workplace. And he did it at Tesla, and I think it was Chevron. I can't remember. But anyway, the point of it is that I just sent him an article this morning about how school districts are replacing, like if you're in detention, you actually go to a meditation class.
That would be amazing.
So I thought that was really cool. I thought that was cool, and I'll see if I can't find it, and I'll share it here whenever I find it. But I'll find it and I'll shoot it over, and I'll tell you what it is and what you can look for. So it's let's see, it was on Instagram. A Baltimore elementary school replaces detention with meditation, drastically reducing suspensions and promoting mindfulness among students.
That's so incredible.
That's so incredible. I think
with all of this, and you know, so what are you working on right now? People want to connect with you at a different book, or to come in their leadership up leveled. What should they do?
Candace, I'm sorry. You broke up pretty bad on that question. I apologize. Can you ask that again?
That's okay. What are you working on right now, and how can people connect?
Look, I mean, for me, look, Forbes magazine just put an article out day before yesterday about the top 5 people to follow in AI, and I was listed as number 1, so that was pretty cool. That was exciting. And that's why people are bringing AI to the masses. So I'm just really kind of focusing on that. Last week I opened up the Kapur Center for AI Leadership in Nogales, Arizona. Before this call, I was on the phone call with some folks in Bermuda, where we're going to be opening up a Kapur Center for AI Leadership in Bermuda. So I'm just trying to do everything I can to bring AI to the masses, and that's really my goal. But I'm not targeting the 5% of the population that's technical. That's not my audience. My audience is general consumers, people who are a little worried, people who are afraid, people who really looking for an easy, simple way to bring AI into their lives. And that's really my goal and my focus. And so that's really what I'm focused on. And anything I do to help support that is what I'm working on. And plus I got an amazing company, and we got to execute there. So I spent a lot of time on that. And so it's great.
Yeah, well, thank you so much for your time. Considering I don't know what is going on with the system. Of course, this is one of the ones I could ask like a whole bunch. That's okay. I appreciate it, and I'll make sure that this is linked so that people know. Now I have this one. But is there anything else you want to listen with today?
No, look, I mean, in terms of connecting with me, people can connect with me on LinkedIn and whatever the case might be. And look, if I can leave you with anything, again, it's so important. Just don't be judgmental. Just embrace the tools. It's a tool. Microsoft PowerPoint was a tool. Microsoft Excel was a tool. Microsoft Word was a tool. The development of software, word processing over typewriters was a tool, right? Calculators over an abacus was a tool, right? So this is just the next evolution of a tool. Just happens to be a pretty smart tool. So just use it to your advantage. And remember, at the end of the day, the people who figure out how to take their expertise of what they know, how to really interact with other people, and the benefits of using AI are going to be the winners of the future.
Oh man, that's something with. Well, thank you everybody. Thank you so much for your time today.
My pleasure.
Connect even further.